Good morning, traders. Welcome to our trading room. For my YouTube viewers, we're live in the trading room as we are every morning. We do these sessions at least 3 a day, sometimes 4 or 5, depending on news events, depending on what our traders do. I will say at least 5 because when I came in the room, our traders are already trading. So that's a session before I came in even. The room is open 24/7. Which means at any point in time you want to analyze charts, you want to take trades, you want to do anything, you can just jump into the room, invite others to join you, and trade. That's how our trading room works. For those traders, I've got a few messages from traders asking me still, I don't know, some new traders probably found my video asking me how it works. I've said it many times, but I can repeat again. These are live trading sessions. And I mean live trading session. We take trades, we analyze them, we click the trade, we manage the trade, and we close the trade. All of that is done. Every trade we take are updated every time there's another session. So you know what happened to that trade and what you're going to do with it. If you completed my course, you will know exactly how the analysis is done. You will know exactly what strategy we're using. You know exactly what money management risk to put on. You will know exactly how to manage the trades, trade management. You know all of that. If you're in the installment program, which means you're paying in small sums to join the group, which will give you lifetime access, right? Once you complete the payment, you will have lifetime access. You can pay it in one payment or a number of payments, and that means you'll have the entire course. You will be trained. You will have everything there is to know about trading. You will know. We start with, do you have any questions? And we end with, do you have any questions? Every session. So if you'd like to join us, send me a Skype message. Now, one of the reasons I'm stressing the live sessions and this number of live sessions, because last week I was at a broker's exhibition. It was an exhibition for brokers in Dubai. All the brokers were there, and I mean a lot of brokers. I happened to meet them, and the people who actually sponsored the whole thing, they invited me for whatever reason. I don't know. They invited me, so I was there. I think they invited everybody who in Dubai who does YouTube videos and this. And I spoke to a lot of brokers, and I think the first thing the brokers were amazed with is that you actually do live trading in the live sessions. I'm like, yes. And they're like, you mean you take the trade? They kind of even asking me the questions in all different forms, but over and over. You actually take the trades in the live session and follow up and close the. Yeah, that's what we do. And then you would see the shock in their face, like, you guys really do that, because they know a lot of YouTube people who do. They don't take the trade live. They don't actually do the sessions live, and there is no follow up to it. Right? These are YouTube videos. They will talk about all kinds of things, but they wouldn't actually trade. Or they will show you all the trades they took last week after the fact. They will show you everything that, that is going to be, okay, we will sell it, so we'll buy this, but no actual trade. And that's a huge difference. I think most of the brokers were really, really surprised when I tell them, no, we actually trade. And we do it 3, 4, 5 times a day. We actually trade all the news events. When I tell them we're there in the room trading all the news events, I personally am there doing it. They were like, you really come in the news events and take trades? And yeah, we do that. Oh, that's a big risk. Well, we do it. We have a strategy how to do it. It is a risk, but we have a proven strategy that works. If it's not good, we don't get in the trade. If it's good, we get the trade. And when I tell them 80% of the time nothing happens during the news, they all looked at me with shock. What do you mean 80% of the time nothing happens? Like literally brokers are like, they're looking at me and very shocked. What do you mean in the news events, 80% of the time nothing happens? And nothing happens. The chart doesn't move. And they're like, but not news that move the market? I'm like, no. And I think for me was an experience learning what brokers do, because they actually, some of them were pretty open. One of them actually told me the exact sum of people who lose on his account, which is 93% on an average. 93% of all his traders lose their account, and some of them really fast. One of them actually said a guy lost $30,000 in less than 48 hours, within 24 to 48 hours. 30,000 lost. Here's the most surprising thing. He lost it in just a couple trades because of the volume of the size of the trade that he actually put on, right? It didn't take a lot of trades to blow the account. And I'm looking at, wow, that is really, really, really surprising. I mean, you can blow a $30,000 account in a year. That if you're really, really bad, but in less than 48 hours, well, open, and there's like these are people who think you can put the money in, you can make a click, and you become rich. And on an average, every broker that that came up there and they were like the speech time when they would go up and present themselves and give speech. Every single one of them claimed that 85% or more traders are failing. And then they would explain what they would do to help traders win and what they're presenting, what new features they have, or what they're trying to do to help you win, which I guess I can't say for sure, but I guess they're just trying to attract you to their platform, which is normal. I don't think it's in their interest for you to win because that money stays with them. I don't think it's going to any liquidity provider because there were 3 liquidity providers there that I spoke to, and they're like, well, we don't get a lot of trades. They get a lot of hedging from the brokers, not trades itself that came through, but hedging. Where the broker has a volume of let's say, disbalance in its account, he might hedge it overnight, or he might hedge it for a period of time on the liquidity provider side, which is the broker themselves, which is, I think one thing that surprised me, the broker themselves do trade, but they don't trade in your account. They have like their own account open where they would do trades to match what they have on their books. Right? Not passing your over, but like they would match trades in your book. And some of these brokers are already offering accounts like these platforms are giving you these accounts that you pay for. Some of those brokers are starting to give those accounts for free, matching accounts that you would open on your account, on your side, right? So you open a $10,000 account, they are creating this new instrument where they will give you a 10,000 demo free to trade, and they will pay you on it if you make money. So I think what they would probably do is match your account. If you're winning, if you lose, well, you lose it, no big deal. It's a demo account, right? So they're trying to see if they can find good traders. And if you're consistently good, they might match it on their account, right? Because I even asked that question. So, well, if you're going to pay the guy out on that, right? Not 90%, but realistic 30%, which I think is realistic. 90% is they just want you to fail. So they're looking for really good traders that they could copy that trade on a bigger volume on their account. That's my assumption. And I kind of asked the question, but they didn't directly say yes, but he kind of like, well, we're looking for that. Basically, we said, we want you to be successful. In other words, if you find a really good trader, then he will work for us by making trades. We'll pay him 30%, but we will copy those trades on larger volume. So nothing is illegal with that. That's pretty much normal, right? It's nothing illegal they're doing. They're just trying to see how they can make more money. And if you're failing, well, then you fail. If you make money, you make money. So there are a lot of new things these brokers are creating as well that to fight these prop firms, because they're losing a lot of, to my understanding, they're losing a lot of clients with people who stop opening account and instead go buy an account for $100, a 10K account, a demo account. They will lose it. Most of them lose it, by the way, because those prop firms are working on the basis that you're going to lose. What their 4% or 5% risk is too, it's not very good. You can trade very small, but you will get bored with it. So like I opened a demo account where I would trade very small. What I find is I get bored and I end up doing crazy stuff on it. Because I know myself, I can't trade so small lot size. I don't win. But the minute I open and increase that volume of trade where I can trade, I literally do excellent. Like I was showing my traders before we started a demo account that I opened a 10K demo account, and on 2 weeks it's already tripled, right? But it's a demo account. I'm trying to open a live account with the same broker for a week now. I'm waiting on them. I hope they do, but I don't know why they're taking so long. So I'm testing this. Actually, that account I was testing for an investor here in Dubai who wants me to think, but he wants to see how these brokers, he's not into the trading thing. He just wanted to see how it works. I was showing him how I will do the trade and how it's working. And turned out to be better than I thought. And their execution and the demo is great. I want to see how it does live. So we'll open a small live account, see how that works. And then if that goes well, the investor might be interested in investing money. That's the purpose of what I'm doing that for. So with that said, anything you guys want to know, we answer any question in this group and we sort for knowledge. So about brokers, about trading, anything that has to do with trading, right? With that said, let's go. Let's start. If you would like to join us, send me a Skype message. The Skype is in the description. If you can't find where the description is, let me type it for you, MANGAL 457. This is the only place you're ever going to get an answer from me. Don't send me in Workplace. Don't send me an email. Don't send me in Facebook. Don't send me in anywhere else on social media, because most likely, even if I have a social media account there, I'm not checking the messages. A lot of you send me on Facebook, but I don't check the message on Facebook. Once a month, I will check it and see that, oh, yeah, there's some questions here. Send me on Skype. That's the only place where I do have a WhatsApp account, but I use it for personal reasons only. Every other thing will be personal. So send me here and you will get. And if anybody sends you a message to join any other group anywhere else, that's not from me. They might use my name and my photograph, which they can copy from the internet, but that's not me. Right? So you send me here, and if you're not sure if it's me, you can ask me that, hey, I got this. I'm not sure it's you. How can we clarify? I will give you something how to clarify that it's me. Don't worry. If we have to do a quick live session, we'll do it. If I have to send you a message so that you can resend to me, you will know it's me. Right? So I have ways of clarifying it. So if you're not sure, then ask. That said, let's go. Dollar index. Dollar index still in the consolidation. I think we have done this many times, so I'm just going to go through what we have right now. What we're in this consolidation. I think now we might get closer to making patterns. This is the 15 minutes. The daily is in consolidation. Right? The daily is in consolidation. The 4 hours is in consolidation. No patterns. This is the first possible pattern we can assume forming here. 1, 2, 3, and we're in this one. So the question is, will we get to the top here, or would we come back and break this low? Right? And that is open, both of those possible right now. So when you're looking at the most immediate trade, we are also consolidating. We have a similar thing on the daily as we have on the 1 hour. 1, 2, 3. This will be your first pattern. Now, break this or don't break it. There's a better, higher probability that it comes back here, go back there, come back here. And if this happens, we're going up. Most likely, if we go up from there, we'll break this top. If we get a flat big as this, we're going to break the top. Right? That is one possibility. The second possibility, well, if this works its way down much more, go back up there, come back here, and go back up there, we get this. Then we probably will come back deeper. And that still doesn't mean downside. It just means come deeper and maybe even go back up there. Right? So anyone who tells you right now that they know where dollar is going to go in terms of the next couple of days is misleading you. Because none of the patterns that we know that we've studied in the past, and we've studied millions of these patterns, right? We've seen them a million times, all the possible existing patterns that says that this is going to go up or go down. It's not confirmed. We still don't have confirmation, right? So the only thing we have confirmation of is that there's a chance that this here will go up. That's a higher probability. We're going to get an impulse up like that. And then we might get one down like this. And then we might get one up like this. That is if the pattern remains a simple pattern. If it becomes complex, we can stay here forever. Well, not forever, but for a very long time. That said, let's go. The trade we'll be looking for is a buy setup. You see, I already have the setup there. You can buy above the last impulse. This looks like it's consolidating. It might drop one more. If this comes to the low, we might reconsider whether we want to buy, because the range is only how many? Oh, that's a lot. We'll buy 36 pips. We'll still buy it, because we could get about 20, 30 pips out of the trade. So we're looking for a buy setup. All these were, this was last week, the sell setup to the downside, right? You can see the difference, right? We were selling this last week. We're buying it this week. And none of these are really big trades. So let me take all of these out, because they might just confuse us. And you may say, well, why do you need 5 live sessions a day? Exactly for that reason, because it's wave analysis. It doesn't go in one direction all day, all the time. So if you're a retail trader trading really small sums of money that you need to turn over 4 times a day, I mean, you need to make 5, 6 trades a day that is going to turn over your money faster, then you need to be in and out of trades really quick, which means you have to reanalyze the trade every couple hours, see what it's doing, right? Because all this can do right now is come back to the bottom here. Would I sell this? No. But if it does this, I have to get in the trade and get out of the trade. I might be even selling here if I get a sell setup like this. If we get a sell setup like that, we might end up buy this and sell it all today. It all depends on how it behaves. So that said, let's go. Dollar index, buy setup. That's the most immediate trade. This doesn't mean that the entire week we're going to be looking for buy. This buy might be valid for a couple hours. And after that, we'll be looking for sell setups. The bigger picture most likely will be upside. Silver, perfect. Anything that new we didn't tell you, remember I said once you get this, wait for this consolidation, right? And it's not over, right? I still think this one is going back to the top there and then come here. So there's a good chance this could go here. Where, remember, dollar index, the most immediate trade now should be upside. Well, if dollar index keep coming down, this could go up, right? you may want to say, well, why silver would go up if dollar index would go up? And I can show you. So dollar index might still go down some like this. Silver might just start making this. If dollar index makes that spike, silver will come back here. Remember I said after it make that spike, it could drop. That will complete this pattern. And then we're expecting this drop, which means this goes back up. All of that could happen within the day or within the week. Time factor is a different thing. We don't trade time. We trade movement, right? We're trading the impulses, the fast movements. We're not trading the time factor because when it's in a consolidation, you have no idea how long it's going to stay there. So anyone who tell you that this week they think it's going to do that, what they're trying to say is they know exactly how the orders are going to come in, what volume and where the disbalance is going to be. And they don't know it. No one knows that. If anyone knew that, they'll be the first trillionaire in the world if they had the access to that information. So although I think this will go back there, I just don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen or if this is going to come lower than this before that happens. See, these are the important things you have to understand. So what I'm looking for is a buy setup here. If I get a flag here, I'll buy it. So I sold this one and this one this morning, but we're going to be looking for this buy here. If I get this buy, we're going for the upside, right? These were not the only ones that sold. This one was sell. This one, I think this one here was a sell in here too. There was a number of sells here that closed for break even. They didn't go anywhere. And we're looking for a buy. So I want to see that this stays here as a flag. I want to see it stay here. I'll still be aware that it could do this and come back, which means we'll get out of that trade for break even. Now, a lot depends on how low it comes back to this. If it stays in that range, we're buying. If it comes lower, we're selling. Now, if you're watching this and you're not a wave analysis trader, or you have no idea how we do our analysis, you're literally saying, this guy's a joker. He just said he's going to buy it, and then he said he's going to sell it. Now, if you ask all my traders in the room right now, and there's about 14 of them here, what I mean by that, I guarantee you they will all tell you exactly what will be the buy setup and what will be the sell setup. So if you're watching my video for the very first time, this is what we're going to do. We're going to wait for this to be a flag. And if it stays in this range, we'll have an entry here to buy this. The hope is that it goes all the way to the top, but it might just come here and start to go down. And if that happens, we will see this as a possible sell setup from here to the downside. One more downside before it turns. It will still go up, but it may drop one more time. If this is to come back lower into this here, then the buy will not even go on. There will be no buy setup. We'll allow this to go back here. And then we look for a sell setup like this. See this? We look for a sell setup here to break the low. And then get it in the positive because at some point this starts to go back up. So we'll consider taking some profit there. So is it the buy or is it the sell? If you're trading today as a trader that is trading short term, you do not have any direction as yet, right? We kind of know where we think it's going to go, but the trade setups are not there. So, but in general, like I said, we might be looking for a buy setup because we broke this low. And once we broke the low, there's a high probability that the next trade that should happen should be this one. Sorry, let me get this here. Bring it back here. Yellow. The one that we should be looking for should be this. So this should go back here and then drop. The next one would be a bigger drop like this. So let's see what it gives us, right? And don't worry, if this drop, we wouldn't be in the buy. We will likely be in the sell. So don't jump on trading and say, oh, you got it wrong. Said it's going up, it's going to go down, right? Don't jump on the YouTube video and waste your time. The time you're going to spend to make that crazy comment, spend that time to learn something. Educate yourself. It's going to help you in your trading, if, of course, you're a trader. So let's go with gold. Again, I think this could come here. Literally, I think this one could come and break this low and then go back up. Now, if we think this is going to drop and silver is looking for upside, then silver might still consolidate and make one more down. But this one, we're looking for a sell setup because we're breaking out of this structure. We broke the top of that. We have 1, 2, 3. You can make an argument for that. We kind of made an expanding flat here. So there's a very good chance. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to go up again. This might be a little difficult to explain because I'm not doing it. I'm not teaching you. I'm just trying to show you. This could also be something like this. And this one goes back up, make a new high, and then come here. Right? You can see that because we have a flat there. See, we have this one. They went up. Can it make another flat and go back up? Yes. As of now, we're not looking for a buy setup. See, that's the important thing. Now it's making a small flag here. And if I think that flag is most likely upside and downside, then we'll consider the buy. But here's the deal. If I get a buy setup on gold and a buy setup on silver, which one would you think I'll take? I'll take the silver because the silver is confirming the upside in the next impulse. This one is not confirming that it can go back there. It doesn't need to do that until we break this low. It could go there, but pattern-wise, there's no need. This pattern, as it is as a consolidation, and if I get a sell setup in gold, let's say this is to come back here and give me that flat, and I get a sell setup on gold and I get a sell setup on silver, you can guess which one I'm going to be selling. I'll be selling gold because gold has a probability of coming here before it goes. Silver might drop, but it might only drop this much before it turns, whereas gold might drop much more. So it doesn't matter which of those setups I get. I'll make a decision which one I think has a bigger risk to reward trade in it, and then take that trade. And those are decisions that we make all the time in the trading room. So on gold, I'm looking mostly for a sell setup, although I'm looking for a buy setup on silver. So this one is a buy setup. This one is a sell setup. Those are setups I'm looking for. We don't have any of the setups as yet. Right? Those might change within the next couple of hours, as I just explained to you. Euro. Definitely sell setup. This was a buy. This was a buy. You close those trades. We're looking for a sell. And that sell might still go one more up. Right? So you can actually get this sell here to come and break this low. But then there's a chance we might go one more up. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't need to go one more up. As this stand here now, this is a 1, 2, 3. That's a complete flat pattern with an expand, with a running flat in the middle. So this could actually drop. But it could also come here and go back up one more, making this a flat. Go back up one more and then drop. It will still drop. The probability of this dropping one more low is about 90 to 99%. Right? Why? Because this is a flat. That pattern is flat by all means. I think 1% of a huge flat like this, and this one didn't even break the low. So there's 1% chance of this thing going up higher. Right? I mean, in a long term, higher move, not just breaking this top here. So this trade is a sell, and the hope is that it drops through the bottom. I'm not sure it will because the pullback is pretty deep, but we'll still take the sell. So this is a confirmed sell. You can actually put the sell entry on. Pong, sell setup. This was a sell last week. I hope a lot of you guys got that one because that was, I mean, this pattern, once we identified the pattern, I said, be careful. If you buy it, close it fast, but definitely get the sell. So I hope you got that sell because that was good. This one, we'll put it under the low because it's not, we don't have any last impulse. The last impulse would be this one. If you want to go with, this is the low, right? So this was like a flag of itself. I think this was a small flag here. We dropped, we broke the low, you went up, you kind of get some pullback here. You go, you're making a pullback here. I think this is going to go higher. If you see that possible, then you want to take that risk. It's okay, but the bigger picture is downside. So at least one more drop. Now we broke that low. That was the whole point of this dropping, right? Now the question is, can it go lower? I think it can. We identified that this thing could end up going all the way back to the bottom here. So this sell is a good one because if we have any news event today to drive it, or even without a news event, you could get a drop like that. I'm not saying it will drop like that, but if we have any news event, that's a possibility. But the sell, it might just go down, drop, pull back, drop, pull back. We might end up going down like this. It might make even a bigger one and then come here. I don't know how it's going to go. Look at the way this one went up. That was a mess. So I'm not expecting this to drop immediately, right? But it could. So let's see. We're looking at this pattern and the bigger picture. I think all of you remember the reason I have those two lines is we're consolidating within them. Once we broke that top, then any chance of breaking that up means it can come right back here. So we're doing this part. Let's put it there. We're doing this here now. We have a consolidation and we had a consolidation here. So there's a good chance this is just going to keep coming here. The more flags, the better for you, right? If it starts to come really slow, my traders, you know what to do. You survive the one pullback or two pullback, and then you let it go and add to that trade, right? Because we know it's very likely going to go to this bottom here. Probability of breaking that low is like 99% too, because it's going. I don't think we'll make deeper pullback now. We have a nice drop. We got a flat. Let's see if it goes. This is a good trade. This actually is a very good. You can put a sell setup here right now. Aussie. Okay, Aussie, if you're in the buy, I hope you took the profit out of this buy. That is this reversal here. It is not necessarily a reversal. That's just a deep pullback. Aussie can go pretty high, right? We're looking at this 1, 2, 3, and you can either put it as a flat. That's one option. The reason I'm not putting it as flat because we have another flat here. I think my traders know what I'm talking about. So the chances are that this could work its way up. make a bigger flat here, go back up there, and then drop. Right? This would be a running flat if that happens. I don't know that it is, because this one is a T pullback that could pass as a 3-wave impulse or as a flat. It doesn't matter. This is a perfect flat. So let's see. If you're in the buy, it's okay. We don't have a buy or a sell setup. The buy is over. This was last week Friday buy. I'm pretty sure you closed that already. The profit, right? If you took it this morning in here, if you closed that one earlier and you took it this morning in this one, which is possible on the 15th, good to take profit. I hope you did. Because if they're coming down, we will get a flag, we'll sell it. Which means if we get any flag in here, now, not necessarily you're going to get a flag. This could be a running flat. Put an entry here if it goes. If you get a flag before that, take the flag. So right now we're putting an entry to buy. That's an active buy. That is the safest buy. You don't have to worry about it. If it's the only way that buy becomes a possible trade, if we're right about this being a running flat, right? If we're right about this being a running flat, then this moves happen. Then you don't have to worry about it buy. If this is dropping, you need a flag. And if we get a flag, you take this out and we sell the flag to the bottom here. We'll just take that as a correction of its own. I don't think I want to put this right now as a bigger flat. I don't want to put this here as a bigger expanding flat. That is possible, but I'm not putting it because we have this here. So let's see if it's a running. If it's not a running flat, then we will put this bigger flat here, because it could be both. So any flag we sell, but right now it's a buy setup. So within 3 hours, if we're going to change to sell, it will be like 3 hours. Give us a 1 hour flag or a good 15-minute flag. So next 2-3 hours, give us something like this and we'll sell. Let it come back and make something like that, and then we will sell it. Maybe even one like this would work. So let's see which one it gives us. But I like the reversal. So that running flat is a high probability. I like the reversal signs that we have. New Zealand would be the same thing. Right, I like this reversal sign. Put it as a running flat. These were 2 buys. Put it as a running flat. Now take off that one. And wait for running flat. This might not be, because this one here, we went with this first. That was the first. And then this could be a flat here. I think this could literally fit as a flat. Although we do have some consolidation here. Right, that could literally be a flat. If this starts making a flat of its own here, like this, we let it come back and then we buy. We wouldn't go for it. Depends on the depth here. We wouldn't go for the sell. If it's a flag only, we sell. If it pulls back deep, we don't sell it, right? We wait for it. So we have London session in about an hour. Now it's about an hour, 20 minutes. We will finish this recording and we'll go into, take a small break, go into London session, and then we'll see what to do with the trades. We might get set up by then. So this could be both sides. It could be wait for a flag, or wait, you could put the buy on, because I don't think this is a running flat. So you don't necessarily have to put this buy on. Wait for it. Wait for both sides possibility, and then wait for a trade. CAD, I think the CAD sales are going good. You got some break even, you got some profit, depending on where and how you take it. It's not dropping the way I thought it would drop, right? We were expecting a big, fast drop down, like this move here, like really fast. But then I went back and look at this, and this thing had a lot of mess in it. It didn't go as fast as we thought it would go. We still didn't get anything for this, so we'll have to figure out which one of these we're going to put it with. I think we might eventually put this as an expanding flat here. This might be the better option. We'll see. We'll come back to that later, right? Because I don't think it fits with anything else. Now it's coming down. It could be that it's starting very slow. Can it be that this would go back up one more? Let's put a line here. Is there a possibility that this goes back up one more? There is always that possibility, but I think very likely the downside is what's going to happen. It's just moving slow. So this dropped and then it pulled back. So we're getting a running flat here. See this drop and then they pull back. So this would be the impulse into it, and this would be the running flat. You want this to go back up a little here. And then we'll put an entry order for this running flat. Put an entry order here. I'm going to take off some of these, too many of them. I'll take off the last one and put it here. Now, what we're looking for is an equivalent of this before we put that trade. Don't put the trade on as yet. You want an equivalent of this. Right? You want that pullback. And then you put the trade close to that, and then put the entry order in for the sell. I'm going to take off all these cells. You don't want too much line in the chart. You don't want to cluster your chart so you can see what you're doing, right? So we'll see. This one is over. I'll take it off because I think it's over. We're going for the downside now. Let's see if this works. I'm going to leave this here and let's see. Anything else, if this goes much higher, if for whatever reason it goes much higher like this, we'll still take it as a running flat. We'll reconsider where we put this, maybe with this one. But right now, I think this is the running flat. So look for a sell. So this can be an active sell. Just wait a little more and then put the sell. Swiss, buy setup. I think it's going really slow. It's still buy setups. Right, we've got the flat. This one is pretty huge, but it's a 1, 2, 3. Right, there's nowhere else you can put that. Right, this might be the consolidation, unless this comes back one more. Right, but this one is really sharp compared to what this did. Right, this wasn't that sharp. So let's assume this is going to continue to go. Wait for flags, wait for corrections, then buy. We are definitely going to get a big flag here and then go up. So look for buy setups. Yen. Well, like I said Friday, it's probably going to do this and 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 then boom. Right? You actually want to see this. That gives you the good sell setup. Do you want to buy this? I think it's useless. If you bought it Friday, you're still looking at 5 pips. Right? It's not going anywhere. But once it breaks the top, we will look for a sell setup. So ignore the buy. It will go up more. It has to break the stop. Ignore the buy. We look for sell setup. If we see that it makes a really big flat, then we will consider the buy. Euro yen, same thing. That sell worked out. It went back. Remember, we didn't break the low before we go back up, so the chances for downside are still there, right? If you keep pulling this, we're going sideways. We're going sideways, but we never broke the lows. So if you look at this as a 1, 2, 3 contracting flat, the chances are this comes here and still come back here before they go. Right, there's a chance for this drop before it goes. Now, it can take up here, and then we look at the whole pattern as a bigger contracting flat. That is a possibility. I don't really like that possibility, but it does exist as a bigger contracting flat. We'll see. There's a lot of pieces in here that we didn't identify where to put them as yet, so let's wait somewhere. Buying at the top there, I mean, if you get a really good pattern, like if this pulls back really good here, I think we'll get a running flat. This one is pulling back. You can see that possibility there for this. If it makes a running flat, go for the buy, right? Because that means you're going to get an impulse going up like this. So most likely it will be a buy setup. What is the range of this to the downside? You don't want to trade it. This is only, well, 56 pips. I shouldn't say you don't want to trade it. You're looking at a 56 pips drop, and if it's an expanding flat, you could get a little more than that. Your call on that. I'll leave that to you guys to make the decision, because you'll have to make the decision by putting an entry out under this low. Last impulse. Get the last impulse on there, right? And if you get a sudden drop, yes, if it goes slow, you have enough time to manage it. Watch it. It doesn't have to break the low. We broke the top, right? We don't have to break the low, but it could break the low. So keep an eye on this. I'll put this as a sell setup. All of these we will do later for the YouTube. I'll just go and do some more of the indices. And so the majors, the indices, we're going to look at it. If you want all of these, right? All of these we do, and we will do them after I stop the YouTube recording. I don't want to make the YouTube recording too long, right? All of these we'll stay in here and do. If you want to see all of that, if you want to join the live session, send me a Skype message. I'll tell you how you can join. You could either pay the full sum of the money for the course, which is you get the training, you get everything else, or you can join as an installment. Traders keep saying, well, I don't have that sort of money to pay, right? It's too much of money. I don't think it's too much for what you're getting, but I don't think they're complaining that it's too much for what they get. They just don't have that kind of a capital right now to pay. Well, we allow you to pay it in installments. And we have a lot of traders who have been paying for the last couple of years and already in the room. Within a year, they pay out and they're in the room as full-time traders. I think they're pretty happy with that. There are traders also who for 2-3 years are saving up money on their own to join, and they still haven't been able to join, because if you try to save it up on your own, guess what happens? You spend it out. We know that, right? That's just the basic rule. But if you're paying the installment to us, your money is being saved up here. And their traders also would start the installment program and had to stop it. And then they came back and they continue. You continue from where you left off, right? That money doesn't go anywhere. It's non-refundable, but it's still there for you. If you want to come back after 6 months and pay it out and then complete, it's okay. If you want to come back after 6 months and continue, and we've had a trader who done that. He was lost for like 6 months. I was like, dude, you don't want to continue? You paid a lot, right? You paid almost half the fee. And he was like, I have some issues right now. I'll let you know when I come back. About 6 months after he came, he just paid out the next half, and then he came in the group. Right? So it's up to you how you can. Life happens, right? Things happen. People have different reasons why they have to stop trading and why they do what they do. So we don't question that. We just tell, if you want to do it, you're welcome. We will save it up for you. So and while you're doing that, you also have access to our London session and New York session. That is the session we'll do in an hour and the opening of the New York session. So you still get a lot of access to trade. You get to compare your analysis with what we do and, what trades we're taking. So that's it. Let's go. Natural gas. Sorry, this one is a little longer than expected. Natural gas, it came a little higher than expected, but then we were looking for the drop. I don't know why it's making this flat in here. This should be dropping already. This one should be dropping, but they're getting a flag here. That's a sell setup. I'm not sure why it's a flag there and not dropping, right? I'm expecting it to drop. When they do this, I'm cautioned that they're probably making a bigger flat here, right? Once I see that, I'm like, okay, why didn't it drop? Right? There isn't enough sell orders to make it drop. So if I sell it, then it's still a sell setup. You just have to be careful. Now you're going to manage this trade with more caution, right? Than you would have managed if you just had this up move and drop. Because this could still go tag you and go back. Come here, go back up, and then drop, right? Making a bigger flat. So let's see. We're expecting it to come here, and then we're expecting it to go back up, and then we're expecting this to happen. So far, so good. Let's see. Take this out. This would have been a loss or a break even, depending on where you close it and how you close it. But let's see where that goes. US oil. Okay, this is the sharp move that went up. Where's the top? Which I think this one is the top, right? Let's see which one is the highest. I get the highest point. I think this one is slightly above. So you have a sharp one here. You can make an argument for a running flat. You can make an argument there for this being a running flat because there's a lot of consolidation in it. And in that case, wait for this to pull back and sell. Wait for this here to pull back like that, and then look for a sell setup. Wait for a sell setup from the top there. So this is clearly looking for a sell setup. We already have it. I don't know if any one of you managed to get an aggressive trade from higher. That would be good. If not, just wait for a sell setup. US 30. Yeah, this kind of broke the low. Reverse. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, reverse. Wait for buy setups. Now let's see where we are in the bigger picture. So the buy setup here, you'd have to be very cautious with this. The buy setup could be just a deeper correction, right? Or it could be they're going up like, we could be starting a flat here, right? This could be the first impulse of a possible big flat, which means that when you get the buy setup here, it starts doing more like this, coming back to the top, drop again, and then go like this one, right? 1, 2, 3, and go. 1, 2, 3, and go, right? 1, 2, 3, and go. So this could be a bigger version. This would be the first impulse. So you know what the size of the flat would look like. Or this is the start of the downside. And in that case, the flat would be here. And then total downside. So which one is it? Well, here's easy. Just come here and wait for the trade. Flag we buy. Deeper correction we still buy. But the deeper correction will be flat because the range of this is huge. This is the first impulse. So if it stays here long enough, we're buying. That would be a buy setup. If it comes deeper into this, wait for it to go back up, look for a sell setup. Can we buy this one? Maybe. We'll consider that when the time comes. But we don't have anything to match this in the past, right? All of them. See, all of these are flags of their own. Like this was a nice flat. This was the first impulse. You know what the flat would look like. This was a pullback. You know what that flat would look like. This is a flag that I think this is more a flag. There's a very rare chance I would look at this as a running flat. By the way, yeah, that's a possibility. Again, that is a running flat because there's a lot of consolidation inside here. It's not exactly in this one, but it's close. So I'll keep this. This could be a correction of its own, a smaller degree correction. So look for a sell setup here if it starts giving you it, like if it should drop here and do this. We'll consider the sell because it might come back here and go, or it might drop. If it drop, we're going to go with this. But if it stays here, it's buy. So which one? Right now, there isn't anything there to do. Right? It made that move. You have to let it decide if you're getting a flag or a flat here. Right now, it looks upside. If you ask me right now, it looks more upside than downside. So we look for buy setups. S&P 500. Okay, this one pulled back pretty deep. It's consolidating. So let this consolidation finish. Let's see how high it comes. And then we'll decide whether we go there, or let's see how low it comes to this one. And then decide if we come here and go down. So if you can still trade in that range, because I think this is a big range, look for a sell setup immediately. Right? The first immediate trade you look for is this to come here and go back up and give you this one. right? This trade. If you can trade that, okay. If you can, then let that happen. Let it go back up. And then we'll decide if this is a buy or if this is a sell. Right? Buy here, I mean if it's going up totally. Or by sell here, I mean if it's dropping totally. So which one? Let's wait and see. We don't have anything much to say. I think this would be easier. This broke the low, so this has just made life easier. This sell, I think all of you remember that sell when we end up at a running flat and then we sold it. Right? Remember this one, we took the sell and then we said, be careful that it could give you a running flat. It turns out the running flat. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to look for a sell setup here. We don't have a setup as yet, but be careful. It can be a running flat. Right? So we'll take the sell, but you have to keep your stop higher because it could be, this is pretty sharp, so it could be a running flat. And if that's the case, then all of them will be sell setups rather than buy setups. Yep, this was the sell for that drop. Now it's turning. So take that off. I hope you close the trade to profit. We're kind of pulling back. I think that was what we expected. Yep, we expect this to drop here. Confirm that this might be the flat. Okay, let me just take that out. Sorry. Confirm that this might be a flat and go right back up. So here's the thing. Because there's a lot of sharp pieces in here and we don't do contracting flats, but this could also have been a running flat. And that could be a top. So in that case, we have to be aware that this might just be a deeper correction for downside. The bigger picture in this whole thing in the daily is downside. I think we already agreed on. But this piece here is telling me, if this is the pullback into this one, and we're back at the top there, then we just need to break that top pullback here and make a running flat for upside. Right? A reverse of this. This is downside, this would be upside. So let's see. Look for buy setups from the sell to the buy setups, right? Okay, we're kind of going back up. Let's see. Can we go with this as a deeper correction with this one? Or is it making a separate one of its own? You can make an argument for this being a separate correction of its own here. Wait for a flag buy. We'll break the top again. The mere fact that it's going back up again, it means we're going to break the top again. Can we go with this as a running flat? That possibility exists too. So this is going to break the top again. Look for buy setups. Wait for a flag or so here, and then you're going to break the top. Next. Same here. This drop, this was a good sell. Wait for buy setups now. Be careful. This might not break out of the structure, so a lot depends on how you get it here. We'll go back to the 1 hour, sorry. Go back to the 1 hour. That buy setup already happened. That was this one here. If it makes another one, if it makes it deeper, you want a deeper one here. And then go for a buy setup like this. This might break here and drop again, right? Or breakout. So the trade you're taking is for the breakout, not for this. That is just to give you break even should it not go. The deeper it come here, the more we're just going to go back there and drop. So I don't see any sell set up for deeper downside. Okay, this dropped, but it didn't break the low. So we'll put this as a running flat. And that means that you're looking for a sell setup. Oh, wrong one, sorry. You're looking for a sell setup. Wait for this to break the top. Let this break the top and then look for the sell setup. Right, this would be a bigger flat. So I think we're going to get a sell setup there. It's kind of coming down flat, and then eventually it's going to go back up. You're getting divergence here. One more drop, it could reverse after that. So try to get the sell from the top. I don't think this is the one that is going to go. I think this one might just come break this top and then go down. If you can take that trade and get out for break even, take the buy. All right, but you have to be sure that as soon as you break that top, you're going for the break even if it doesn't go. Because the likelihood is it's going to break that up. Now, can it be a deep flat like this and still take off? I think you know the answer. So if you're going for this buy setup here, treat it as a short-term trade and manage it carefully. That would be an active buy. Because the bigger picture is downside, right? Nifty pulling back. Okay, so are we making another running flat like this? You see this one went up, make a flat. So you can make another running flat. You can make an argument for that. Look for flags buy. Flags correction buy. Look for buy setup. Tesla. Yep, Tesla drop. It's going down a lot more than I thought it would go, because I thought from this point here, they'll start to go back up. We do have divergence. That has not changed, but it's going down much more lower than I thought. So what we're looking for is still the upside. That has not changed, right? The upside structure has not changed. And 1 second. Yep. If you're going very nervous on YouTube as to why, it's not going up, or I got it wrong, well, the last time when I told you it's going to go up, I said when we break this low, this could go. We bought it, we close it. I told you to break this low, we look for buy setups. We bought it, we close it. I told you when we break this low, we're going to look for buy setups. We're going to buy it and close it. You may say, well, why not sell it here? Well, try selling in there and see what you're going to happen to you. See how much consolidation you have there? You try selling and see how much you're going to hold it and what's going to happen to you. Because remember, what we are trying to catch are moves like these, not consolidation. We want a fast move. So when we take it, it didn't go fast, we close. When we take it, it didn't go fast, we close it. We'll try to take it and see if we get that move fast. If it doesn't go, we'll close it again. I am not going to sell at the bottom of a move like this or the bottom of a structure like this. I don't care if it drops all the way back to the bottom here. I'm not selling there. I don't have any, sorry. I don't have any setup to sell. Now, that didn't mean that we didn't know that this was going to drop lower. You can see, we knew this was going to drop lower. We knew this was going to drop lower. Now, it looks like it's going down a little lower. The trend line is irrelevant. I think I mentioned that a million times. Trend lines themselves are, we're going to use this one. We're going to use the last piece down. You're going to use this trend there. No. So this one could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go up. If it starts to consolidate there, we'll consider it. But we're looking for a buy setup. HK50. Yep, look for buy setups, because like I said, this would likely be 1, 2, 3, right? Because it did pull back to the top. So if this gives you a buy setup, take it. You need a flag and take it. You could have been in the buy already. Let me see. Yeah, the 15 minutes buy was there. This, because we spoke about this, right? That the possibility of that going up. I don't know. This one might be too risky. Wait for this to actually make consolidation and then go with this trade. That buy would be an easier buy. This one might be a bit too risky to take, but this one would be, we broke that up, so that's a safe buy. Look for buy setups. Bitcoin. Yep, still in the consolidation. We broke the low. Remember, I said once they break that low, you can start to look for upside, because this is a 1, 2, 3. Right? It broke the target once. This was a buy. That's break even. It broke the low again. This was a buy, break even. Well, you could have actually bought this one. If you bought that, you can buy this, if not wait for a pullback again and then buy that one. The chances are this could break out, especially if you get a pullback here first and then go, this could break out. Right? So now you're expecting it to break this top. That's the expectation. It doesn't necessarily mean it will go break that top, because we don't know that this doesn't come back here and actually do this. Right? If it does this, then yeah, it will probably drop one more. You'll be out of the trade. Right? If it turns out to be a bigger flat like this, it will drop one more, you'll be out of the trade. But if it takes off, that's your trade. Now we will break this top. That doesn't mean we go to heaven. That means as soon as you break that top, you're getting that trade in the positive and you're putting an entry order to sell. Should it go lower? Should it reverse? Should it drop suddenly? So you're taking care of that trade to make sure you don't take a loss on it. ETH, I think the same thing here. This one looks downside. This definitely looks like it's going to drop one more, because we came pretty much to this bottom. So this was Friday's analysis. 1, 2, let it go back up there. And well, it's already there. So I expect it to drop one more because of the depth of this pullback. Should it continue to go, we'll wait until it makes a flag here and then take the trade. If you bought this to the upside, just get it to break even. I think the one you wanted to buy was XRP, because this one was going to go. This one is a clear buy, right? We didn't come back to the low. And if there's any, sorry, 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, if there was any clear indication that something could go, it would have been this one. So if you bought this, you did excellent with an entry order here, and the chances are this is going to break the top. Right? There's a high probability for that because we broke the low. Now, again, that doesn't mean it can't make 1, 2, 3 and then come back here. But you're never going to take a loss on this anymore. Worst case is you have an entry order to sell it back at break even, should it drop. Right? That's it. And now the hope is that it goes break that top. Most of them, you notice on Friday, we had buy setups. This was a buy setup. I don't even have to go through them. Look for buy setups because most of them had buy setups. This, we didn't have anything because we didn't have a setup and there's a chance this has to go down back. So stay away from that. This, again, we didn't put anything because this is more like a 1, 2, 3. This is probably going to consolidate more. This pull back pretty deep. So I think there'll be more consolidation. I don't see the total upside there yet. If we're going to totally go up, I want to see it make a really good flag coming to this one, like a really good flat here. This was a buy, but it's pretty sharp. This was a buy setup because we had a pattern. Your buy should have gone here. You could have buy here. You know, there are two entries you could possibly get. This was a buy setup. This was well, this didn't have a buy setup. It still doesn't have a buy setup. This could still come back here. And then you might consider a buy setup if it comes back here to go. Right, so it's like this: 1, 2, 3. This should pull back, and then you look for a buy. Link had a buy setup. Yep, perfect. Because this one actually dropped from there, so that was where it is. Put an entry here. That's a good trade. This had a buy setup. Put an entry here. Go for that one. We didn't have anything here, but this went. I think this had already left. That is why we didn't have any buy setup. You are getting a buy setup now. You're getting a buy setup here now. Now, can this go and retest the top? Yeah, why not? We're not necessarily expecting that to happen, but it's possible. And this one, I think, will most likely be a flat. It's a buy setup, but I don't think we're totally going up. I think this might turn out to be a flat for one more drop. One more drop. So be careful with this one. That's it. So to my YouTube viewers, if you like it, please share, please click a like, leave a comment. If you would like to join us, send me a Skype message. Thank you. Trade with K this week, and I hope you make money. Thank you. Bye.